Hey, welcome back. It's your man, TL Solutions, Financial Literacy. Let's jump right into it because I know your time is important, so is mine. I want to do this, to inspire somebody. Hopefully, you get inspired and you want to learn more. But let's first take a look at what exactly is credit. Okay, credit is the ability of a customer to obtain goods or services before payment based on the trust that the payment will be made in the future. That's what the definition of credit is. So why are you always talking about credit? Why are you always talking about finances? Well, I'm always talking about these things. I don't just talk about these things, but I talk about other things. But it's important because money is important. Cash rules everything around me. Credit rules everything around. Listen, you need it in this system that we live in. It's important. Um, Not understanding and the fact that it isn't taught in the curriculum. I think that it's supposed to change, but it has not been taught. I'm in the state of North Carolina, and typically you may hear a little bit about it in like a economics class or something like that. But for the most part, managing credit was something that I did not get in high school, something that I needed. Okay. Now, why do you? Why is it so important? It's so important because here's the thing: you're going to, when you live with your parents, there's going to come a time where you may want to get out on your own. You may want your first apartment or your first car, your first house. And credit is going to be important. A cell phone. Most of the items that I just mentioned, they require a credit check. People are going to look and check out your credit score to see if you're worthy, you know, of extending credit for that particular item. Now, it's important that you learn this. Now, your credit score ranges from, I think it's 350 to about 850, with 350 being the lowest, 850 being the highest. This is your report card. This is how people are going to judge you. They're going to look at those numbers and then decide whether or not you're going to be worthy of being extended some credit. Your score is important. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to dive in to what that looks like. Your score has 5 areas. Okay. The biggest percentage of your score is the 35% for just paying your bills on time. Late payments can significantly harm your score. Paying your bills on time is going to be important, people. Looking at, you have a due date, paying it on that date. You actually can get 192 points from simply paying on time. 192 paying on time. All right, the next thing is how much credit you have access to and how much credit you're utilizing. What does that mean? That means if you have a $1,000 card and you're using $1,000 on that card, you're utilizing 100% of the credit that was extended to you, which is going to hurt your score. You want to keep that credit card usage low. A lot of people say 30%. I like even 10, 20. Keep it low as possible. Then they look at other factors. How long have you had credit? Have you had credit for years or have you had it for, a couple of weeks? How long have you had it? The longer you've the longer you've had credit and the longer you've maintained it, the better. So you want to establish credit, manage it. So when you need to go get a car or you need to go get a house, you won't be penalized. Then you have the types of credit. Installment loans those are like student loans or car loans. Anything that doesn't really change over time is an installment loan. A revolving loan is a credit card. Those can go up and down. And then when you are applying for credit, the last thing is the new credit or the inquiries. The inquiries are when you may go to Walmart. They say, hey, would you like to apply for a Walmart card today? Those don't stay on your credit that long, though. But they're still responsible for 10% of your score. So 10% of that 10%, that's how your credit, those 5 areas are how your credit score is determined. Now, if you don't have any credit cards, I believe the highest that your scores can go is like a 685. So you're going to need credit to play the credit game. Your score is important. That is how you're being judged by the financial institutions or the lenders. They're going to determine what type of rates you're going to get based on your score. So you should be taking some notes. Also, you got to protect your name. One of my favorite shows was The Wire, and in that show, Marlo, he said, "My name is my name." So your credit reputation is important. A lot of you are co-signing, or sometimes you may not even know it. Sometimes your parents can put you in a bad space by having you to, using your information to obtain credit and then not taking care of it and protecting it. You don't know how many clients I've worked with that have co-signed for someone else and that person stopped making payments. Here's what I'm going to advise you to do starting today. Because a lot of times when we see bills, we start panicking. Now, a lot of times we get a bill in the mail, we start to panic. Sometimes we don't even answer it. I remember I used to be scared. I used to get nervous when I get a bill. Now I look at that as an opportunity. I'm going to advise you. Anytime you get a bill in the mail, answer it, open it, call them, contact them. Let them know, hey, I don't have it this month. What can we do? Also ask them if you're able to extend your due date or change your due date. Or if you can pay at a later time, but not get a late fee, or have it show up on your credit as a late payment. You can ask and have that done. But you got to reach out and ask that. You got to answer these notices that you get. Because if you don't answer it, then a lot of times companies will just say, oh, this person, I'm not getting a response. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to proceed with litigation, or I'm going to proceed with sending their account to a collection agency. You can stop that. Reach out to them and speak to someone and make some arrangements. Real simple. So I didn't want to hold you too long today, but I did want to go over that. The next thing that we'll do is take a look at a credit report. But the main thing that I want you to walk away from this today is to just understand. So my goal for you is to understand what credit is, understand the formula for a credit report. I want you to understand what credit is and understand the formula for a credit report is. That is my goal, is to hold your hand and show you that, so that you will at least understand why it's so important and what your score is made out of. You know, I'll also tell you too, also when we look at the credit reports, I'll tell you how to go and look at it, because that's a number that you need to know. The same way that you know your social, the same way that you know your date of birth, the same way you know your address and your driver's license, you need to know your credit score at all times. That's valuable information that you need to know. All right, peace. Can't wait to talk to you guys again.